DJ Grip. Motherfucking deal, nigga. Niggas watching, talking from the bleachers. I can move about 1,000 in my Mexican meters. Grew up on biscotti flips with plugs and heaters.
How'd you get that name, man?
Well, as a kid, they used to call me Big Head Little Body.
Okay, okay.
That's where the name come from.
Yeah.
And I was living in Houston.
Okay.
And me being from Detroit, I was in Houston, and you know, I'm around. This is my first time being around like Mexicans.
Yeah.
So I said, you know, at the time I was doing music, I'm like, yo, if I'm doing shows and stuff, I need to make my name look more Spanish.
Yeah,
so I put the L in there like El Paso. So
Yeah.
shit, you know, Mexicans, they show love to their own kind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I get at least 50 extra people with that L in my name. So
yeah, okay.
I put it together like that. But, you know, BLB is Big Head Little Body. I just put E's on the end of it. You know?
Yeah, okay, now I see, because it's like BEEL, then BE, right? With spaces in between.
Yeah, three words, one name. It's kind of like, if it was Spanish, it'd be B the B. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Is that where you from? Where you originally from?
I'm originally from Detroit, by way of a small town called Ypsilanti. It's right next to each other in Michigan. So,
Oh, okay.
Detroit,
Yeah, Detroit, Michigan, all the way to LA. Right now, we in the heart of Hollywood, so yeah, all the way from Detroit, man. That's amazing. One of my favorite collaborations was the BLB and Young Thug situation. Why don't you talk to us about that? Like, how did that come to be able to get to work with somebody at that caliber? You know what I mean? Because I know Young Thug is huge, and I always looked at you as just being huge as well. So, you know, together it was like, wow, and then it just kept on escalating until I finally got you on the couch.
All right, yeah. Well, you know, like I tell like a lot of my understudies, you know, it's you got to get with these superstars before they become superstars.
Exactly.
So I was working under a director named Cricket.
Okay.
And he was shooting videos for Gucci Man, and Cricket would shoot all the big videos like Waka Flocka, Gucci, and Young Scooter at the time. And I would shoot all the new artists, who was the Migos, Young Thug, Pee Wee Longway, and Young Dolph.
Yeah.
Although Young Dolph wasn't official, it was about to happen before he went to jail.
Yeah.
But so I started, you know, just shooting videos with Thug, and then when Gucci went to jail, everybody kind of went. You know, there's another director named Gabriel Hart. He did a lot of stuff with the Migos, so he went over there with QC. Then I went over with Thug, and then we just started building. And
Yeah, so you've been knowing Thug for a long time then.
yeah, like day one. You know what I'm saying?
So that's people, that's family.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
When Gucci first signed him, I was around. You know, he was like, I got this young boy. He crazy, but he hard. Man. I go hard. So
yeah, I seen some of the work, and I was just mesmerized, man. I used to tell Destin, I was like, man, you got to get me with B, man. What's going on, man? Look at these visuals, man. We ain't had nothing like that running around the hood, so we ain't know nothing about how to make it look like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's amazing. That your career was already going, or was that like kind of a booster, or what? When the Young Thug days was.
I mean, it definitely boosted it, you know, us coming together. But I started directing when I was living in Houston.
Okay.
So when I left Detroit in 2006 and I moved to Houston, and then I just moved just to get away.
Yeah.
But I started directing in 2011 with artists like dababy.
Okay,
you know
dababy. I know dababy.
Then I got more notoriety when I started with KILLA.
Okay, yeah, KILLA.
Because he was coming off that Cushion Orange Juice with Wiz. He was on that album, so it definitely, you know. I think my first 6 months I was on MTV with a video for KILLA. My first video with KILLA went on MTV.
Oh, okay,
in 2011.
Shout out dababy and KILLA, H.e.r. I've actually booked both of these artists out in Austin, Texas myself through my promotional days. They are awesome, amazing artists, brewing from Houston, Texas. So, you know, shout out to those boys, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. So it just, I always tell people, like, it just kept building. So from KILLA, working with him, all the way throughout 2012, and then when I moved to Atlanta from Houston in 2012.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Atlanta, about 2 months later, I met Gucci Man, and then kind of came from that tree.
Yeah.
So everything built, but even before I got to Thug, I did videos for Nipsey. Nipsey was my first real break because he was somebody that I did a video with him alone.
Yeah.
When I was working on the cricket in Atlanta, it was like, yo, he dope, he fire, but
Yeah.
we don't know if he can handle the set.
Yeah, to
by himself.
handle the big shebang. Yeah.
So
And was that Questions with Snoop?
No, it was actually more or less.
Okay.
So I actually helped kick off the campaign, the Crenshaw campaign with Nipsey.
Okay, the big boy.
Yeah. So it was when he did the album for $100.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my partner Chico, I was like, yo, man, I gotta get on this project. I gotta work with Nipsey. I've been waiting to work with him. And I told Nip, like, yo, I don't even want no bread. I just want to just shoot,
Be able
work.
to do it, yeah.
And I captured the whole event from him, coming out there, selling the album and shooting the video. And shout out to DJ Drama. He helped put that together as well.
Shout out Big Drama, man. Legendary.
Yeah, Drama, Lake Show. And that was my first real break because that video went on MTV, and that was Jam in the Week. And in those days, when your stuff went Jam in the Week,
yeah, you pop it.
Every hour on the hour for 24 hours. So people seen that like BLB. And then that just led to, when I did that video with Nip, that's when Rich Homie Quan people was like, yo, I want you to do some Quan stuff. And then from Quan, it was, I was actually about to link up with Future before Thug. It was at the same time that Future was trying to sign Thug in 2014 in January.
Yeah.
And I shot a video for Future called Where It Was.
Yeah, I seen that earlier today. I sent it to the cast. I was like, man, y'all don't even know who's coming on this couch, man. Future, Nipsey, you know, Houston Texans legends, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, that Young Thug just had me mind bobbled. I was like, this is, and then I always looked at it like these videos is better than everybody's. You know what I'm saying? So that's great, man. That's really inspiring. And speaking of inspiration, like, cause you my inspiration in this video world. Who inspired you? You know what I'm saying, to jump out there and really do your thing.
Well, you know, I'm a fan of hip hop and music in general. So I used to always watch the videos. I think I think my most favorite director is probably Brian Barber.
Brian Barber.
So that's the guy who did a lot of the Outkast stuff.
Yeah. Back in
Yeah, he sometimes appear in the videos and stuff too, but he was just always like theatrical and cinematic. Yeah. You know, I attempted to do things like that, but I guess where my style really come from with directing is by not having much. Yeah. You know, I started out with a camera. It was a GH1. Okay. And you know, guys was using the red one at the time. Yeah. And I figured out how to hack the camera to make it shoot like a red.
Yeah, but didn't have to pay
$300 on eBay. So I would pull up with this little camera, and then guys would be like skeptical. And then I always have my laptop on deck. As soon as I film the scene, I show little effects on it. They be like, yo,
that shit dope, yeah.
How does little camera shoot like that? So that's where it really come from. And like even with, let's say a video like with that for Thug, that was somebody's funeral. Wake. It was a Troop. Actually, he's passed away too. It was his father's, but it was just guys standing outside. And I'm like, well, how can I make this interesting? You know, let me make the heads big, and then I start putting people's faces on people's faces. But it wasn't to do an effect. Yeah. It was because one of them had a warrant. Okay. So he wanted by the police, and I'm like, yo, I don't want him in the video, you know, getting questioned with his whereabouts.
And that's when they had little bitty bodies and their head was bubbled. That was what sent me through the roof. I was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy because a lot of those guys, when I had tested it out, I had put it on Instagram just to see it, because that was just the first time I ever did something like that. And when I just seen with the fans how they was reacting to it. But like all the entourage, the street dudes was like, man, that ain't cool, man. Take that shit down. I'm like, you know.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. But so that's where my style really come from, just making the most out of what I got, you know.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that's amazing too. So you do a little music too, right?
Yeah, you know, that's how I got into directing. You know, when I was in when I moved to Houston in 2006, I was making beats and stuff. Okay. And you know, Houston is it's his own country. It's his own world. It's not even the same as the United States. Like, you can make so much money in Texas alone and just be big that you don't need the rest of the world. So I was on some like Kid Cudi vibe. Like Kanye is like that's my role model when it comes to music. And you know, me just waiting on people to get on my beats, I'm like, man, I'm just be an artist myself. So I started doing the music in 2009. And then 2010, I'm like, that's when Instagram started, not Instagram, but Twitter and all that started picking up. I'm like, I need some pictures.
Yeah.
And then I bought a camera for a young photographer, but he wasn't really like using it. He had that drive. So I said, let me practice on my friends. And dababy was one of them.
Okay. So
and
yeah.
I took a picture
Yeah.
of his Reggie Bush and Kool-Aid album cover, and all his friends was like, yo, was this a video? And he's like, nah. He's like, man, you need to make him shoot videos, dog. He fine. And I shot dababy's videos, and I was like, yo, I don't really want people to know I'm doing this because it's gonna mess me up as an artist.
Yeah.
And then I did it anyway, and then it went from me, you know, trying to bubble as an artist and directing, and it just switched fast.
That's how it sometimes play out sometimes. But yeah. So they were your first products on the kind of the camera work, and then the camera work took off.
Yeah, then it took off. And you know, in them days it was definitely needed, like in 2011, because you had, you know, I call it the great reset of hip hop. You know, when Nas said hip hop died in 2006, and then a year later Wayne started bubbling, and then he went platinum in 2008, nobody else still was selling. You know, Ross got hot, but it was just Wayne, Ross, a little bit of Drake, a little bit of Nicki, but they were still young at the time. Yeah. But you had this new generation, you know about it, with the Wiz, Currency, Big Crit, Smoke DZA, Big Sean, J. Cole, Mac Miller. Like, that was the new generation where guys was like focusing on like the high schoolers and the college crowds.
When South by Southwest and all these shows was popping off in Austin, and like I seen all of the uprising.
You seen it, and I call it the Great Reset because it's like those artists didn't have to have jewelry, they didn't have to be gangsters. It was just all vibes and stuff. And shout out to Texas, because if it weren't for Texas, hip hop would have really died. I feel like that because Kendrick came to Texas with 50 fans in the crowd and came back with 5,000. Yeah. Every last artist that I mentioned, all of them came to Texas to build their
to build a bigger fan base. Yeah.
So
because it's like in Texas, it's like whether people know it or not, it's so many different outlets and independent promoters and different resources as far as like that brings out crowds. There's shows, meets, greets, all kinds of different situations. It's like merch. I seen Uzi one year, nobody knew him. That next year at South by, it was crazy. You know what I mean? So it was just like people wanting to come down to this port for specific reasons of blossoming. And Texas, like me alone, I threw almost 500 concerts in Austin. So parties, clubs, and stuff like that. So a lot of these artists I seen come from nobody to somebody in a year's time. Black Youngster, the list goes on. And shout out to Wiz Khalifa. He was the artist that actually stepped onto my unofficial South by Southwest stage and brought the whole Taylor gang that kind of stamped me during South by Southwest with my boy Steve Newland. And then after that, we were kind of known for throwing packed out fests while they were having South by Southwest. It was called Teach Fest. So yeah, a big shout out to Wiz because he kind of changed the game for me in the promo world. But I seen these guys. These guys, they kind of turned into moguls in their own lanes.
Hip hop royalty, like all of them. Every last, like when you look at the top guys like J. Cole, Kendrick, Big Sean, all of those guys, like they're the OGs. Yeah. It's like they all, built their careers in, Texas. So just me seeing that, and I would say like the directors that, because I feel like I created a lane for young directors to take this small camera and you can end up having platinum plaques or managing artists like a guy named Drew filmed it. Like he manages artists on top of filming them, or guys like Cole Bennett. He's breeding a whole new generation. But even that still comes from Texas because I got my swag with the whole h.e.r. from Orbit. Yeah. And see, Orbit was like, if you couldn't afford Boomtown, you would go to Orbit. Exactly. And Boomtown is from Texas too. Yeah. So Boomtown showed labels how to really produce a great video without having $100,000 budget. Exactly. So like even if somebody say they influenced by BLB, and I'm from Detroit, but everything that I learned as far as the film world comes from Texas. Okay. So it all goes back to Texas.
Big shout out to Texas. That's where I'm from. And yeah, man, that's the out the trunk state to yeah, just really like guys like right now, like Sauce Walker out there, it's like he got his own world and he don't never gotta leave and he gonna forever be on, you know? Just by having that Texas swag, that culture, and then that following down there, it's like it's real numbers, you know.
Yeah, it's real numbers.
Definitely real numbers. But so yeah, naming, we got a few. Naming who would you say is your favorite collab with the artist to video world through your career? Like who would you say is your favorite guy you worked with or people you worked with as a whole?
My favorite two, I ain't gonna hold you up, is KILLA and
the beginning.
Young Thug.
Okay, KILLA and Thug, okay.
And it's because if you watch some of them early KILLA videos, like I had him in a tub with pints of lean floating and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had him in a suit, I dressed him up, same thing as Thug. Like I put Thug under a table. Yeah. And like the label was like, yo, you got to be like his brother or something, because this dude do not listen to nobody. Yeah. And you put Thug under a table. And I put him in a straight jacket. Like he don't do that. Yeah. But for me, he like, all right, yeah, I'm doing it. But, you know, so I think them two is because they allowed me to do whatever I wanted to do. And I put those videos out. Like with KILLA, I put them out on YouTube. With Thug, I put them out. The label had nothing to do with those videos. Okay. 0%. It's just me, him, and, you know, like Amina and the rest of the team. But really like the YSL department of it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Man, that's crazy to have that type of, cause like you still young, you know, and the things that you've already accomplished, it's gonna have it to where you're super legendary status when you get up there in age, you know what I mean? So I salute you definitely for even being able to get this far, cause it's like the names you blurting out, the projects, you know, the experience, the different states, and coming from Detroit to the Atlanta, you in LA right now. It's like that's the real movement. So to all of the inspiring videographers out there, as well as you do music and a few other things, I'm getting with you to try to get this crib designed, because you know my guy be crazy fly. So if you want that whole fly feel, you got to get around the fly guys. You feel me? So how would you really express inspiration to the youth and to the ones that really want to be on a BLB status? Like what kind of advice would you give them?
The first advice would be you got to believe in something before it actually exists. Exactly. So like I said, when I seen Thug, it was like outside of this event that he couldn't get into. But like when he pulled up, everybody just was staring at him. This is before he was with Rich Gang, all that, before Stoner. This is when he made this project called Black Portland. And it was like, I seen it. I was like, yo, he it. I'm like, if I get with him, my videos with how he is, it's gonna go crazy. Yeah. So you got to see it. You can't be the kind of artist where you like, yo, I wanna work with this guy, but it's because he's lit. Yeah. When they lit, they don't wanna work with you. Yeah. So, you know, I would tell all the young directors and photographers, I'd be like, yo, this artist, his name Lil Baby, he about to blow up. Go around him, he about to be big, and then they don't see it. 6 months later, like, yo, Lil Baby still need a camera guy? I'm like, man, he rich.
Negative.
He don't care no more.
At
like,
all.
He got to the money.
You're half a year late out here.
Exactly. So the key is believing in these artists before even anybody else do. Because your belief is probably all that artist needs to take it to the top. You know, with you being somebody that have, you know, got a camera, it's like you get to see everything. You know, you control it. Even where I would see some artists, you know, you got street dudes, they go to Miami, go play around, but they don't bring no camera. Exactly. You can be the guy like, yo, when next time you go to Miami for Memorial Day, you know, Jeezy and all them, Fabulous be in the city, let me come follow and we can go shoot some stuff on the spot.
Exactly. Put yourself in position.
Put yourself in position. So it's like when you believe in these artists before, you know, before they believe in themselves fully, it's gonna take you all the way there and it's gonna open up so many doors. Yeah. And the second thing is character. You gotta have good character. You can't be the type of guy where, you know, you're with an artist like a Young Thug and you get brought in rooms and that artist can't leave without you wanting to jump crews and stuff like that. You still got to stand on that. Yeah. So, you know, it was never to where like I'm big with Thug, and then we get in the room with Kanye, and I'm like, yo, Kanye, what's your number?
Yeah, Kanye.
I shoot videos. It's like, we here.
Yeah.
Although, like, I ain't gonna lie. Now, when I went to Kanye's house,
you was ready to holler at him, bro.
I'm shaking like.
But did you held it down though, right?
Man, what? I had to take a picture of the bathroom though.
Yeah.
I took a picture back like, look, I'm at Kanye's
I'm
house.
definitely in Kanye's house. Believe it or not, I'm here.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
And it was crazy because Kanye thanked me, you know, for Thug being there. Because I brought him, I'm the one who made it happen.
Yeah.
Like, Thug, he really ain't tripping about, you know, just meeting up with nobody. He want to record.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Kanye's thanking me? Like,
Yeah.
like, picture
Big
this.
deal. It's a big deal. It's all a big deal.
But you got to just hold it down and just keep that, you know, memory. But your character is what's going to keep you indoors.
Yeah.
And, you know, bad characters what's going to get you out of those doors. So as long as you got good character, like, that's going to come. If you're around a superstar, let's say, for instance, you shooting for Lil Durk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk, he the man right now. You don't got to extend, you know what I'm saying, your welcome too far. It's like, they going to come to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you build when you're building with an empire, it's like, as long as you keep that nucleus strong, it's like you ain't gonna ever have to reach out. You may have to put that effort inside of Lil Durk's next newest artist.
Yeah.
So like, even with Thug, you know, although like I don't shoot videos, you know, every video for him no more, but I still creative direct, you know, or like his brother got a he got a single out that's doing big in Atlanta. One of my understudies shot it. Yeah. So it's like, you should still put people in different places, because you expand. So that's the key thing.
But exactly. So for the uprising and the bridge before it got to $100 million and stuff like that, you were a part of that wave. So yeah, I totally understand, and yeah, I appreciate the advice to our youngsters about that character, because that's everything, and you know, sticking in what you believe, because sometimes what people don't understand coming into the game is it's what you believe in and how much you believe in it that's really what gets it where it needs to go. You know what I'm saying? Just putting the parts together and sticking with those entities and flourishing them. You know what I mean? So it's just like with me and my artists, it's like, if we fall out and we didn't made a bunch of great things, we didn't get to a point to where we got to see it elevate, because it wasn't enough time and effort put into those entities. So always stick with what you know and believe in yourself, because that could be the next hottest, or that could be a part of the next hottest. It's all kinds of ways to get on out here. So, you know, find out who you are overall and stick with that and push that to the ceiling. So. Much love on that. All right, so we got BLB in here, man. I definitely want to highlight on these structures when you are putting together these videos. Like, what's the creative process when B sits down and is like, yo, this is the artist, this is the team, this is what I'm putting together? Like, how does that structure come to be? Like, how do you physically put that together when you're putting together one of these masterpieces?
Well, to be honest, like just coming to Atlanta and working with Gucci, like, he would call us to the studio, record the song, and say, you got the camera? Just like that, and you gotta shoot. So me just learning from having to be ready at any given time, whenever I'm hearing the music, I'm always trying to imagine something. And even when I know I'm shooting this scene here, I'm already knowing, like, yo, you said something about like the train, let's get an abandoned warehouse after we do this, and we just kind of work. So I feel like the pressure is where I really perform, you know what I'm saying? Well, just because it's like, it's all on me, and I like it that way. Whenever I have to like write a treatment or work with a label, it's like you get these extra people that know nothing. Like, you have a female from Connecticut trying to tell you
how to do this,
that this kid needs to be more street, and he's from Brooklyn. It's like, until you done been punched in the face by Tasha with the little ponytail, you don't know nothing about no streets.
Nothing about the streets.
You got to know what that punch smell like. If you got hit in the face and hit in the head, you got to smell when you get hit. You got to know that. And it's like, that's difficult to try and even communicate with somebody that's talking that, because I'm like, I don't even get what you're saying.
Exactly.
But I understand what they're trying to do. You want this Brooklyn kid to look like Pop Smoke. But he can't, because they're two different people. But at the end of the day, It's just that pressure and knowing like, you know, pulling different entities. What I would do is I'll play videos on mute and play the song from the artist whose video I'm about to direct. So a lot of inspiration I used to draw for artists like Thug. When Thug used to wear that little ring around his nose, he gave me Marilyn Manson vibes.
Yeah.
So I would play a lot of Marilyn Manson videos, and then I had a song Danny Glover playing while the video was playing.
Yeah.
Even I draw a lot of inspiration from Lady Gaga. You know, although I never like had a big production like hers, her video was like $1 million budget.
Yeah.
But I like the artistic freedom.
Yeah.
So I would say like sometimes you got to just play different videos and even know stuff. Watch movies, like just like when I'm writing treatments down, I'll take scenes from like Belly, you know what I'm saying? Like when DMX flipped the table and said, "Count the money."
Yeah.
And that low angle shot, it's like those different type of things is where, you know, I might take, you know, some type of influence. Because sometimes we all get mind blocked or whatever.
Yeah.
Another thing I would say is go around kids.
Yeah.
Like the presence of a child makes you think free. Because a child, you know, let's say if a kid never watched scary movies before, they're not scared of the dark.
Yeah.
The only reason why the kid's scared of the dark is they seen the movie and somebody was like, yo.
In the dark. Yeah.
he's there.
Scaring them. Yeah.
But really a kid is like, you know, kids all the time hurt themselves from jumping off the couch because they think they can fly.
Yeah.
You know, so like you gotta have that child's imagination. So, you know, I got kids and I'll just go in their room and just be editing because I'll think differently when I'm around there. So sometimes you gotta change your, you know, I'll change my environment, go around kids, watch movies and stuff like that. Just pull inspirations from different parts.
Nice.
You know, like I say, you might be doing a video for Moneybagg Yo, but you still can draw inspiration from a Katy Perry video.
Exactly.
Because she might have had something that would work with what he was saying. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just pulling for visuals from free spirits, kids, all of that.
Everything.
That's awesome, man. That's truly incredible. The only thing that you said that I've seen or heard of before is like how they have one song playing in another, you know, major production video just for ideas, but the rest of that is like, you know, that's like your own flavor, you know what I mean? So that's great to give the people that type of information, man. Outside of producing and music and stuff in this entertainment world, is there any other like major hobbies that BLB really enjoys? You know what I mean? Is you the strip club fanatic, or you know what I'm saying, big jewelry? What's going on over there, man?
I got 5 kids.
They got 5 of them.
2 baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? So
you got
it's
work
like,
to do. Yeah.
If I ain't doing music, you know what I'm saying, or just building with the youth, you know, with the new directors or whatever, it's like, you know, I'm with my kids or whatever.
Absolutely. Big family man. Okay.
Yeah. I would say the only one thing I would look at as like a hobby of mine is like, I love history.
Okay.
Like, so I'll just be looking up stuff, you know, about history in general. You know, like I didn't know Mexico had a black president.
Oh, for real?
He was the 2nd president of Mexico, and he was the one who actually abolished slavery.
Oh, okay.
So, and he abolished it for like everyone, not just blacks, but you know the natives who are now Mexicans. He abolished it for them too, because they were enslaved and treated wrong. So, and he was assassinated. So it just be stuff like that that I'll look up, you know. And when I like traveling, so when I travel places, even like Mexico, it's like it's different from what they tell you. Same thing as Africa, you know, they'll tell you, oh, Africans don't like black people, or Mexicans don't like black, and it's like you go there and they're like, hey, young dog, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, you in the, you know, I love like really to go party and go to the clubs and strip clubs. Like, I ain't gonna lie, the Mexican clubs be lit.
Yeah,
like lit, and they be cool. Now, I ain't gonna lie, you know, when I you know, they heard I was in there throwing all kind of money. So when I walked out, I see like the cab right there, and I'm walking out the door, and I see the little, you know, not little, but the security or army guards. Yeah. They had the big guns. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, and I just kept walking. They like walked in front of me, like, hey, my friend, tip. I was like,
here you go, hit him with something.
Make sure I get on safe.
Yeah, take care of me. Take care of me.
Take care of me. So it's like, just history give me like, it gave me a lot of motivation, and then just inspiration to just like to work with people. and you know, just find new things. You know, just a lot of stuff, like even like locations, like me learning about stuff. Because sometimes when you hear things like, oh, you can't go here and this is the thing, it's like you go and you find out a different outlook.
Exactly.
You know, so and then I learn from, you know, different cultures and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so I would say history and traveling. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I had a history lesson yesterday. I was watching The Hills Have Eyes by Wes Craven, you know, and that's when I learned about all the Hiroshima bombings and all of that type of stuff, and you know you know, they kind of,
it wasn't one bomb.
Yeah.
It was atomic bombs.
Yeah, atomic bombs.
They try to blow that out the map. So yeah,
and the people that got affected from it, and people in caves, and I was like, wait a minute, it's for real. Yeah. But yeah, so all right, man, it's been great, man. BLB, last actual question. What do you feel like is your biggest accomplishment in the game thus far?
Man.
Or do you feel like you haven't reached it yet?
I mean, I feel like I reached it. I think my biggest accomplishment is just taking something that's worth $300 and turning it into, you know, millions sold and 12 plaques, and beyond that, like seeing a young director walk up to me and say, "You the reason why I do this."
Yeah.
And I hear this so many times.
Yeah.
You know, even to a point where they like shaking.
Yeah.
And I'm be looking like, yo, I was
geeking over me right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was you at one point when I used to run up on different directors and stuff with different artists or whatever. So for people to be like fans of me, it's like it's humbling, it's dope. So I think that's an accomplishment, because in the beginning, I didn't think that my videos was good enough. You know, even now I watch videos and see so many effects that I done did 6 years ago, and I'm like, wow, I remember putting this video out and not even wanting to put my name on it, because, you know, I wanted to have videos like Lady Gaga where you have these big techno cranes and stuff. Yeah. But the fact that, hell, I made it to, you know, having videos premiere at the BET Awards, like Lifestyle premiered at the BET Awards. Yeah. And it was crazy, because it's like I shot that video alone.
By yourself?
By myself. It was a $60,000 budget, but people quit on me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Birdman and Thug and all them, they got different schedules and they work how they work. And me, I'm from Detroit. I don't have much to go back to there. So they ain't sending me back. I'm going to do what I need to do. Exactly. And I spent 18 hours shooting that video. Yeah. Sun up to sundown. So it's like, that's just my biggest accomplishment, is just being able to do it, you know, on my own, and be able to influence, you know, other young guys in the streets, because everybody can't rap. Yeah. Everybody can't play basketball like LeBron, or, you know, can be a Bitcoin tycoon. You know, some guys is good with, you know, cameras and ideas and stuff like that, which
computers, and you can still blow up and be amazing with that. Amazing, man.
And it's young directors where, I mean, they didn't figure the game out even further than what I did. Like, they got YouTubes that they charge guys. Like it's a guy named you know, we got Jerry from Detroit, but it's Half Pint Films. Yeah, Half Pint. I be telling guys, like, instead of going to World Star, just go give Half Pint, you know what I'm saying, a couple stacks, because it's gonna really get real fans, and his audience is what type
of real. Yeah, he got a real situation. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's you know, accomplishment. And then, you know, even now, like, you know, overall with me, I always, you know, like, was into music. So, you know, I do get artists. I don't talk much about it, but I have one artist. He's a Latin artist. His name is Ozzy Trente. He's from Orlando, and you know, at first when he came to me, he was rapping in English, and like I say, when I was in Mexico, I'm seeing them girls stripped to that Spanish rap, and it just felt different. Yeah, hit different. They was really working, and I'm like, you know, and then the DJs in Mexico and Puerto Rico, like, they show love. Yeah. You go up to the club in LA or New York, they're gonna call the police on you. Yeah. Security? Yeah. You had $300 and you getting half a spin, and ain't gonna look at you crazy, man. But out in the Latin world, the Spanish world, and Hispanic, like, they know if you make it to them with some music, they know you ain't playing. Yeah. They know you coming with it. So I told him to rap in all Spanish, and he had like 300-400 songs in English. I said, I don't want none of them. None of that. All Spanish. So I've been bringing him out slowly, but that's like an artist, you know what I'm saying? I'm just building. I want to be in that world and, you know, bring something to the table out there. You know, give those guys the opportunity. Even with, like I say, with the, you know, you think about the Spanish speakers, it's like you got the whole Mexico and the Central America,
all
the
of
Caribbean, South America, and then you got Spain. And then once you make it to Spain and all that, it's like Greece. They all still
El Salvador, all that. Yeah, it's big. Yeah,
so big. So I think worldwide, and even like I say, I believe in something that before it even exists.
Yeah.
So me seeing people like Bad Bunnies and stuff, and you know, I would want to have an artist like that.
Me too. So, I have 2 Latin artists myself, but I seen the numbers and I seen like just the difference in the impact and how much support is coming from the roots, you know. So
it's not even, and it's not even, like I say, it's not even expensive because, like it was a guy that got 4 million views and he did a reaction video to my artist Ozzy music video. People got 10,000 subscribers just trying to charge you $100 for a reaction video in our world. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell anybody, like, whether you speak Spanish or you African, you Afrobeat or whatever, or even if you speak Greek or Italian, you got a better chance at doing that because those cultures support in this English culture in the United States in general, no matter whether you're black or white or whatever.
You're right.
We don't tend to support immediately. We wait till everybody else kind of crowd around.
Yeah, it's a follow the leader type of situation, and you got to be on to convince more people that you own.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and it's, you know, and that's why they don't have to troll. They don't have to fight each other. Like they really, it's and you think about it, like they really be in the trenches. They probably tied to cartels and all that, and they singing about love and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I want to dive into that world and see what I can bring to it. Even like with Mexico being in Tulum, they building so much out there. It's like, you know, hell, I would want to, you know, take the opportunity to make some businesses and some resorts,
set up some situations,
Vegas, you know, all that kind of stuff out there. So it's just, you know, sky's the limit with everything. I'm always thinking to just be creative, and that's just overall what I want to do, just develop. So anything that got something to do with developing, creating, like that's my thing.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Lil Sicc, BLB, The Sicc Life, episode 1. Man, appreciate the love, G. Already know. Y'all tune in with us next time.
DJ Grip. Motherfucking deal, nigga. Niggas watching talking from the bleachers. I can move about 1,000 in my Minsky meters. Grew up on biscotti flips with plugs and heaters. Bags and start piling, got juice by the liters. Ain't no talking on the phone, hit LAX and greet us. Play with me with funny money, I'm gon' pay to keep you. Lambo cracking, but it's cocaine in the top and see-through. Join the club if you can hang, drop an ad to reach you. Say, I been out here wildin' on my 12 wheel. Nigga, fuck up out the spot if you can't cop shit. Nigga, can't pay me to pack, can't pay me to share. I'm worth 100 mil, nigga can't tell me shit.